Operation Moolah, the bounty for a MiG-15. In the midst of the Korean War, the United States launched an unusual psychological warfare operation. Dubbed Operation Moolah, the goal was to entice North Korean pilots to defect with their MiG-15 fighter jets. The offer was $100,000 American dollars, an enormous sum at the time. Remarkably, this tactic succeeded, forever altering the course of aerial combat history. This is the story of Operation Moolah and the daring defection of Lieutenant No Kum-sok. The Korean War, which began in 1950, saw fierce battles on the ground, in the air, and at sea. By 1953, the war had reached a stalemate, with neither side able to secure a decisive victory. The skies over Korea had become a critical theatre of war, with American F-86 Sabres clashing with Soviet-built MiG-15s. The MiG-15 was a formidable opponent, and understanding its capabilities became a top priority for the United States. To gain access to a MiG-15, the United States devised a bold plan. On April 26, 1953, US General Mark Clark announced Operation Moolah. The operation promised $100,000 American dollars to any North Korean pilot who defected with an operational MiG-15. In addition, the pilot would receive political asylum and resettlement in a non-communist country. Posters and leaflets with the offer were distributed over North Korean air bases and broadcasted via radio. The offer was a psychological tactic, aiming to sow distrust within the North Korean ranks and encourage defections. Despite the enticing reward, months passed with no response. Some believed the operation was a failure, while others saw it as a long-term strategy. On September 21, 1953, just a few months after the Korean Armistice Agreement, an unexpected event occurred. Lieutenant No Kum-sok, a 21-year-old North Korean pilot, took off in his MiG-15 from Sunan Air Base near Pyongyang. Unbeknownst to his superiors, No had been planning his defection for some time.
I knew the risks were immense. If I was caught, I would be executed. But I wanted freedom more than anything else.
The day of the escape began like any other. Lieutenant No Kum-sok woke up early, his heart racing with a mix of fear and determination. As he walked through the base, he greeted his fellow pilots and maintained a facade of normalcy. Every glance and every interaction carried the weight of his secret.
I had to act like everything was normal. If anyone suspected anything, it would all be over. I couldn't afford a single mistake.
At the airfield, No performed his pre-flight checks meticulously. The morning sun glinted off the sleek body of the MiG-15, a formidable symbol of Soviet engineering. He knew the aircraft inside and out, having flown countless missions in it. Today, however, would be different. At precisely 9:30 a.m., No climbed into the cockpit and started the engine. The roar of the MiG-15's engine filled the air as he taxied to the runway. His hands were steady, but his mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead. As he took off, No stayed low, flying just above the treetops to avoid radar detection. The landscape below blurred as he pushed the aircraft to its limits. Every second in the air was filled with tension. North Korean air defenses could spot him at any moment, and the punishment for his betrayal would be swift and brutal. No Kum-sok headed south towards South Korea, the distant mountains providing a sense of direction. The flight seemed to stretch on forever, each minute feeling like an hour. He knew that once he crossed the border, there would be no turning back.
I kept looking at my fuel gauge, my compass, and the terrain below. I had to stay focused, but the fear was always there, just beneath the surface.
At 10:20 a.m., No Kum-sok finally spotted Kimpo Air Base. His heart pounded as he descended towards the runway. The ground crew at the base initially thought it was a South Korean pilot and rushed to greet him. When they realized he was North Korean, their shock was palpable.
We couldn't believe it,
recalled Sergeant John Peterson, an airfield technician at Kimpo.
Here was this pristine MiG-15, the very plane we had been dying to get our hands on, and it had landed right in our lap, and the pilot, a kid really, looked more relieved than scared.
The arrival of No Kum Sok and his MiG-15 sent shockwaves through the military community. American personnel quickly secured the aircraft and took No Kum Sok into custody. Initially, there were doubts about his intentions, but No Kum Sok's detailed knowledge of North Korean operations soon dispelled any doubts. No Kum Sok's defection was a major intelligence coup for the United States. The MiG-15 was carefully examined by American engineers and test pilots, providing invaluable insights into its design and capabilities. This knowledge gave the United States a significant advantage in future aerial engagements. Testing the MiG-15 was like peering into the enemy's playbook, said Colonel Charles Yeager, a test pilot who flew the aircraft. We learned so much about its strengths and weaknesses, which directly impacted our strategies. No Kum Sok, who later adopted the name Kenneth Rowe, was granted the promised $100,000 reward, which he used to build a new life in the United States. He enrolled at the University of Delaware, earning a degree in mechanical engineering. Rowe became a US citizen and worked in the aerospace industry, contributing to projects for companies like Boeing. In interviews, Rowe reflected on his decision to defect.
I wanted to live in freedom. The money was never the primary motivation, but it certainly helped me start anew.
His story became a testament to the power of individual courage and the far-reaching impact of psychological warfare. Operation Moolah was a bold and unconventional tactic that succeeded beyond its planners' expectations. Definitively not for No Kum Sok. Not only provide the United States with critical intelligence and also demonstrated the potential of psychological operations in warfare. The story of Operation Moolah and No Kum Sok's daring defection remains a remarkable chapter in the history of the Korean War, highlighting the ingenuity and determination that can arise in the face of conflict. So what do you think? Would you have done the same? Comment below and let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching. Machitamam. Shrees.